protocol. So you can recall the presentation. Lock-based protocol. Okay, so a lock guarantees exclusive use of data items to a current transaction. So what is lock-based protocol? Lock-based protocol is nothing but simply we are locking the transaction. So how we can locking the transaction? There are two different types of locks that are available. One is shared lock, another one is an exclusive lock. Before enter into the shared lock and exclusive lock, you should understand what is lock, what is unlock. Okay, so to access the data items, lock is acquired. If you want to release the locks, what you have to do? We can do after completion of the transaction, we can apply the release lock. Okay, how we can lock, how we can release the lock. So we'll see with the help of the simple example, we can understand very clear about how we are locking and unlocking the transaction. So there are two types of locks. One is the shared lock, another one is the exclusive lock. So here the data items can be locked in two modes. So one is the exclusive, another one is the shared. What is meant by exclusive mode? The exclusive mode in the sense that data item can be both read as well as written. It is possible for reading as well as writing the data item values. How we can mention this? How we can use the exclusive lock? We can use lock X. It is used for exclusive, both read as well as write operation. In the shared mode, data item can only be read. So how we can represent this shared mode? So lock yes insertion. So read the data items values. So it read only the data items. While we go for an exclusive mode, it's capable of reading as well as writing the data items. But we can go for a shared mode. It is only possible for reading the data items in the transactions. Okay, lock requests are made to the concurrency control manager by the programmer. Transaction can proceed only after request is granted. So how? I will show a simple example. We can understand very clear about how we can lock as well as unlocking the transactions. Okay, I will show a simple example with the help of Jamboard. Okay, so we have two transactions. This is the transaction 1, and this one is the transaction 2. This is the transaction 2. In transaction 1, first what you have to do in the sense, so first you have to lock X. Lock X means what? Lock X means we can have a what? Exclusive. Lock X means it is nothing but an exclusive mode. So exclusive mode in the sense capable of reading as well as writing the data items. So that's why here we are taking a log X of B. So simply we can log X of B. Then reading the value of B, reading the account B. Then we can do the subtraction B equal to B minus 50. After that, we can write the account B. So before going to proceed the transaction, you must lock the transaction. So locking the account, so X should be in caps. Lock X of B. So account, lock the transaction. Now, while you are applying the locking the transaction with the shared mode, he is capable of reading as well as writing. So read of B. So subtracted B equal to 50. So we are subtracting the amount 50 to transaction B, that is the account B. After that we can write. So the transaction is created with the help of a shared mode. So that's why we can do the read as well as the write operation. Once we are come to the end of the transaction, so both read and write operations are done. Now we can unlock the transaction. So the unlock the transaction B. So the corresponding unlock B. So this is G1. So here the way we are using the locking as well as the unlocking. So that is why it is called as lock-based protocol. So the lock-based protocol, there are two different types of locks are there. One is the shared lock, another one is an exclusive lock. If it is an exclusive lock, can able to read and write data items values. But if it is in a shared lock, it is only possible for reading the data items. Okay, so like this in D2 we are simply lock S of B. So lock S of B in the sense what? So we are locking the data items with the help of a shared mode. So shared mode in the sense only it is possible for reading the values. It is not possible for making a write operations. So lock S of B, reading B, then we can unlock B. So once the transaction is complete, so lock, you apply the unlock the transaction. So here this is what? Shared lock only read operation. But here we can see here exclusive. So that is here we can apply the exclusive. So we capable of reading as well as writing the lock. Okay, so that is the difference. So here the only thing you should know here, any number of transaction can hold shared lock. Any number of transaction can hold in shared lock. But exclusive lock can be held only by one transaction at a time. Only one transaction at a time. So why any number of transaction can hold shared lock? In the sense shared lock only we are going to read the values. So it is not possible to write anything into the values. So that's why we can have a read transaction. So that is the share. Okay, but in the case of exclusive, so once we can lock the particular transaction, then we can read or write operation. After that we can unlock, then only we can move on to the another transaction. Okay, so here there are two types of locks used in the lock-based protocol. So next we have a two-phase locking protocol. So what is the two-phase locking protocol? We are going to apply both lock and unlock being done in two phases. That is why it is called as two-phase locking protocol. So how we can apply the two-phase locking protocol? The two-phase locking protocol classified into two types. Two types in the sense two ways. One is growing phase, another one is in a shrinking phase. Growing phase, another one is in a shrinking phase. The two-phase locking protocol, one is growing phase, another one is in a shrinking phase. What is in a growing phase? Locks are uptime but not released. Locks are uptime but not released in the growing phase. In the shrinking phase, locks are released but no new locks are requested. New locks are required. So whenever you want to lock the transaction, what you have to do? We can do only in the growing phase. Once we can complete all the locks in our transaction, immediately we can move on to the shrinking phase. So how we can identify which one is the last transaction for locking in the growing phase? Which one is the last transaction for locking the transaction for in the growing phase? So that is growing the transaction in the last transaction with the help of the lock operations precede all unlock operations. So we can have a lock. So I'll show in a simple example how the two-phase locking protocol will be implemented with the help of growing phase as well as shrinking phase. That we will discuss in the next class. Two-phase locking protocol with the help of an example. We can understand very clear about how we are locking with the help of a growing phase as well as a shrinking phase. Okay, we have a one